We are here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about this very important day that is today, where maybe the trajectory of crypto goes on the last massive leg to the upside. We have talked about it yesterday. We are going to talk a little bit more today, and we are seeing prices down. Prices are being suppressed by manipulation, and I want to lay this open with a couple of sources that I found on Twitter, where this manipulation is coming from and why it is happening. Also, I want to show you a couple of things that just should give you a little bit of a sense of who to trust and who not to, maybe not in the crypto space but outside. And also we're going to look at the broader markets, the charts, as always, the altcoins, how they are doing. We're going to look at Solana, we're going to look at VeChain, we are going to look at your altcoins, and as always we're going to look at Ecomi and Veve, so make sure to stay all the way through. So, good morning to each and every one of you. May I ask you, first thing here, before you lean back and enjoy your coffees with me, to smash up the like button here. Very important, you know that, for pushing out the videos. Good morning, Patrick Bultman. Ronai Arnold is also here. Good day, mate. How are you doing? I got in time today for the show. That's great. Thank you for participating. Thank you for coming here. And Jasper Frank also here. Wow. So people that I see in the chat, I think every single day, and here he is, the man of the hour, Trucking Hank. Also, good morning to you. Good to see you guys. While people are piling in, please, if you're new or if you're watching this later, smash up the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy these updates. Very, very soon, in my opinion, we're going to pump in the next leg. I don't think it will take much more time, but let's talk about it right away. So, Bitcoin, we see it here. We lost this trend line a couple of days ago. We backtested up on it yesterday as expected, and now we will expect a lot of volatility. And I can tell you right away why that is from one angle, and that is the news angle. We will have where's the FOMC meeting? The FOMC meeting is today. There should be a bubble for the FOMC meeting. Isn't it today? Let me quickly check here. FOMC meeting. All right, I think it's today. Yeah, so they are already talking here about the FOMC. Why doesn't Google give me that? Usually Google gives you it's in 2 hours or whatever, right? I think it's around noon-ish today in the US. Let's put it there. When is the next FOMC meeting? Okay. I don't know the exact time. Meeting kicks off Tuesday, but it's about the press conference. So let me see. FOMC meeting. Actually, I have the FOMC. Where's the FOMC watch tool? Do you guys know where this is? Sorry for searching here right around the first hour. 12 hours, there you go. Here's your countdown. So the next 12 hours will be probably shaken by some volatility, especially when Fed Chair Powell is going on record and talking, because the way he talks will define what to anticipate next, and that will give people in the market a little bit of a knowledge what's going to happen. The rate cut is basically priced out of the market, as 99.5% of market participants think that the rates will stay the same. So very likely there's a rate pause being announced today, but still it depends on if he is more hawkish or dovish in the press conference, okay? So the press conference will be then probably after this here, so when this timer is out, which will be around 8 p.m. in Europe, right? So just to complete that. So that can shake up the market, but there is something else, like these wild swings. It's not only the DeepSeek news and so on. These wild swings in the market, they are caused by something. Now, one possibility is that they are caused by Jim Cramer. I think Jim Cramer actually jinxed it. Listen to this here.
MicroStrategy. Okay, look, I say if you want to own Bitcoin, own Bitcoin. I own Bitcoin. You should own Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a great thing to have in your portfolio. But MicroStrategy.
Well, can't he just shut up, man? Like every time he says something bullish, something bad is happening in the market, right? Why does he have to do that with us, right? But in all seriousness, the real reason what's happening here is this here. So market maker update. Over last hour, Binance has sent 14.5 million Solana, $11 million of ETH, 25 million BTC to Wintermute market maker. So this guy is tracking basically where this is coming from Binance hot wallet to Wintermute. Basically this Wintermute is then going on the same exchange and trading there, selling or buying, right? In my opinion, he says, right, this type of effort to drop prices means they expect something quite significantly bullish in the very near future. FOMC tomorrow, right? So obviously there are some of the market makers, they know exactly what's going to be said. They know exactly what is coming out. It's no secret to them, and therefore they are playing the market, which means they are trying to play you. Okay, so here we have a little bit more, and it's really great from Marty Party. I recommend here at this point following this Twitter channel. I do not recommend many, except my own, right? Here, Patient Hodler must follow on Twitter. Ethereum, Bitcoin, and SUI communities understand you are also being deceived. Coinbase, Binance, and Bybit are sending millions of dollars of ETH, BTC, and SUI B2C to whatever that means, R2D2, I don't know, and Wintermute market makers, and dumping it on the exchanges, right? I tracked this, and it is constant to support their casinos. Remove your ETH and BTC from centralized exchanges. It's 2025. I'm not a maximalist. I'm talking to all crypto lovers. You must move your beloved assets off predatory exchanges and move the market dynamics to DeFi and self-custody only where it's transparent and organic. So you see these transactions here from Coinbase hot wallet to okay. So that's this B2C2 is a group. Here, right? Binance hot wallet to Wintermute, almost $6 million on Ethereum network. So this is how they manipulate the prices, how they play the market. There is no hate or anything involved, at least in my side, right? I'm just telling you that so that you know, right? And I think it's great that we have people in this community, in this crypto community, that research this stuff. Okay, so this manipulation is going on for some time until these exchanges and obviously other market participants says, okay, release the Kraken, right? But there are things like playing these prices. So the exchanges, they make the most when prices fluctuate up and down and going sideways, right? That's when they really make the big money. And obviously fees, right? The more selling and pump and dump is going on, the more money they will make, right? If everyone buys hodls, gets it off of exchanges and doesn't trade, the money, the recurring is less, right? So that is something to keep in mind. Then we have the Nvidia stock ripping hard again, 10% from the lows. DeepSeek sell-off was just an overreaction by traders, pumped the crypto market. So the crypto markets being correlated to the tech stocks, right? DeepSeek was a little bit overblown, the news, and also there were rumors already that Trump is probably going to ban DeepSeek, which I don't know if it's already happened, but definitely Nvidia is just shooting up again, coiling back up, and markets therefore could be coming back up. So let's move forward, because today's rate decision is just one thing in a sequence of many more rate cuts probably to come. As we see, we had a very harsh rate cut hold cycle, and if we see, we have a moving average here and an overlay with the Bitcoin price of the last cycle, or actually not the Bitcoin price, it's the total 3 crypto price. It's actually the altcoins, not Bitcoin. It's not Bitcoin, not Ethereum, but everything else, and no stable coins, right? So what we see is that the moment that these rates really come down, right, the prices are exploding also in crypto and altcoins, right? And we already see, I mean, we already have seen a part of the move, right? It's not that we are at the bottom, anywhere at the bottom, right? We've seen a part of the move, but this move, once rates are down on the ground, the explosion went really heavy, right? So the question is, how much of this is left, right? We do not have this red phase where rates are down and being held. So we are most likely entering such a holding pattern here, right? Where we will have no rate cuts for a couple of time, and then we go again, right? The question is how long, right? We will see the first sideways dot probably today, with holding the rates today, and then hopefully we see this explosion in the crypto market. And it's really urgent that we when we get this, that we then also talk about taking profits, because usually what comes after this holding pattern is some kind of crisis and crash, somewhere here, right? Somewhere in this this is caused by usually a crash, a crisis. So we will have to really see when to lock in profits so that we are ready if everything comes down, if the sky is falling down, right? We see the preparation for that. Injection of fresh capital is already going into the market. Here we see the comparison of the money supply trajectory of many regions, let's put it like that. If you take the EU, the US, right, you know, the US is going to be very soon Canada, Greenland, and Mexico. Just joking. So US, in all seriousness, the money supply in the US is ticking up by roughly 9% of a trillion, right? Okay, so not that much, but it's an uptick. And that means fresh liquidity about to hit the market, as well as China has an uptick. The EU is still in downwards trajectory, right? But it has a small downturn here. Japan is not expanding yet, and also India is not expanding yet. as we see here. So we are still waiting for when all the liquidity charts are looking upwards and global liquidity is really booming, right? That's when this last parabolic steep incline move is happening. Let's see. So in the phase of this crypto run up, right, to 100K, where we are right now, we have seen that new whales were entering the market, and this is going parabolic right now as well, which means that whales are having FOMO right now in a phase where everyone else is a little bit depressed, right? We know that the market sentiment is more like somewhere between depression and boredom, right? Something like that at the moment, like short-term market sentiment, right? There are a lot of the established crypto influencers who are bullish, but if you check your own sentiment and what I see here in the chat, like for example Bodo saying GM hoping Mcade stops dropping, can only buy the dip so much. Yeah, it's like people are exhausted by the market, bored to death by the market, right? And that's exactly, the market will play this to the very end and then rips again, right? This is what's going to happen. I predict this here. Also, by the way, good morning, Motili. Good morning, Warriors King. What is going on? Good to see you. 25 people here, so please do me a favor, smash the like button if you enjoyed these crypto updates. In almost every morning we are here streaming. I can tell you, it's not the easiest of things to do that. So if you would reward me with a like, I would really appreciate it. Also, if you watch this after and not live, Sven Janigens is also here. How many versions of the name I already created? Wow, Sven. Okay, and then we have the first of the 16 states that are filing for a Bitcoin reserve in the US. Arizona is the first US state to vote on the strategic reserve bill, to put it to a vote. Okay, now interestingly, interesting will be if one of these comes through and actually does it, right? This is the thing that could really change that up. So we are looking at probably more states will now say, okay, we put it to a vote, but history is in the making for sure for that. And then I have something funny to you. Do you still, like for all you Canadians, I have your investment specialist here. This is from 2 years ago. Oh, by the way, GM from Canada, love your show, picked up, this is a nice coincidence, $5 Canadian here for Justin. Picked up more OMI this week. My total bag is 85 million OMI. Wow. That is crazy. What a bag. Oh my God. Okay. I think I have 5% of that, but okay. So I thought this was funny. I saw this only this morning. This is from, you have to remember, this is from 2 years ago. And Justin is mocking his opponent here a little bit, but listen to this.
Back that anger. We haven't really seen a lot of concrete proposals from Mr. Polyev. I mean, he did make one. That's not fair. You're right. He had one great opportunity for people to opt out of inflation. He recommended this last spring. You can opt out of inflation if you invest your money in Bitcoin. Yeah. No. He stayed up late, watched all sorts of YouTube videos, and came to that conclusion. He said that himself. Buy Bitcoin, opt out of inflation. Well, any Canadian who actually listened to, maybe that's why those guys with the flags are so mad at me. Any Canadian who listened to him would have lost more than half their life savings since last March. That's not responsible leadership.
He watched the other guy, what is the name, Polia? I don't know. He watched too much Patient Hodler at night, right? So he's watching all the crypto morning coffees at night. And then he had the audacity to recommend Bitcoin 2 years ago to his followers. 2 years ago, what's that? Like what do we have right now? January here. Like, so he did this here. Had you listened to him, you would have lost half of your life savings. Thanks, Mr. Trudeau. Since then, 366% up. So yeah, and then the best thing of the whole video is the crowd laughing, right? He's like a comedian in front, and he, like, you know, this very confident comedians who are trashing someone, and it's super funny, right? Yeah, I saw this today. I don't know, like, if someone here likes Justin Trudeau, I'm very sorry for that, but I just had to put this out here because this was too funny for me to see from this point here where we are right now. Every Canadian who has Bitcoin is pretty happy about their life savings so far, I guess, right? Yeah. This guy is a clown. This guy is embarrassing. Okay, I guess the audience is not on his side here. Hey, Energy, what's going on? How are you doing? How is your collection doing? So that was one. And then once again, let us keep in mind, I showed this yesterday in a little bit different format. I will go in today. So you have these 800 days, 600% trajectory in the 2017 cycle, and then you have this dip, which we are in right now, and then you have the other 1,800%, which would be absolute. I don't think that we get 1,800%, but since we got 600% in both cycles here until now, maybe nice, Devo. Maybe we're getting the big returns here in the next 270 days, right? As we're absolutely forming a similar pattern to 2017. I showed this yesterday. I will show it again. Here we are in this dip. Today is the FOMC meeting. We are at 102,000, where we were at $1,000 in what is that? Actually, that's April versus January, but fine, right? The trajectory is the same in the Bitcoin cycle, and you see how similar it is, right? You can even see it better here with the overlay. Once again, we are here, and we should be done with the dip by this month, right? With coming this FOMC meeting, going into the 30th of January, we should be done with this dip. Okay, so this is why I said yesterday this might be the last chance, right? So let's see here. Nirujan Sassoon. What did Dan also? Oh yeah. When do you plan on dumping so I can undercut you? Okay. Okay. Whatever you combine, right? Who cares? That's up to you guys. Okay. But you see here, this should be it, right? If we do what is here, right? Also here, I mean, we had a little bit more dip at these phases. Here is a dip into something that happened before we pumped, where there was a dip. Like, it's not like the exact copy, but in the last couple of days we had an exact copy of it. So in the long run, though, this mimics the orange line, and therefore it should go in some way up here. And by the way, there are some nasty sideways and pullbacks still in there, right? So for example, very likely there will be a sell in May, go away, sideways down pullback, which definitely, if we get this massive upswing, it will be a take profit event for me. We will see, right? Andreas Capato says, hate to be a big fudder, but my gut tells me big crash soon. Is it your gut telling that to you? Or is it because the X feed starting to get some of these Let me show you. sometimes, and I'm not saying that you are telling that based on something, but sometimes we are getting influenced by that. So here, Robert Kiyosaki is one, right? And then I'll show you another one. Robert Kiyosaki, let me see. There was a post by Kiyosaki. He posts so much, right? Maybe I can find it, right? Here. I warned you all, 2013, blah, blah. The crash is now. How did I know, blah, blah. And they're like, they're predicting now all the crash profits they're predicting, because 2 times in the past, basically these Fed rate cuts, they came before the actual implosion, or 3 times actually, right? And so is also, I really like and respect Crypto, and maybe there's something to it, but he also comes out right now. Here, he just came out with this video, Bitcoin and crypto, the biggest crash in history, right? And now I see everyone repeating that, right? So I see people saying, my gut tells me that that we are going to crash, and it's based on, where is my, I think it's based on this, right? It's based on this, where in the past with the rate cuts, we had the rate cut starting here and then a crash. This is the S&P 500 index, right? And then we had another rate cut starting here, pause, cut, and then boom, crash, right? And then we had it again here. The rate cuts, they started here, okay? And then we had a crash. So this is why some people say they knew it before, right? But if you go a little bit more in history, and unfortunately we don't have that history on the Fed funds rate here, but look at this trajectory, right? So you have the crashes here and here and here, small ones, but the overall trajectory is like mega pump, okay? Basically from 74 to all the way up to 2000, to the dot-com bubble. You don't have like really like big crashes, right? I mean, that's a crash. 35%, that's still a crash, right? But the other ones are not really. So let's see, Fed funds rate history. We have to look it up like that and see. Let's see if we can, okay, so here, so what do we have? We have pause and cutting 69 and 74. Let's go back to the chart. Sorry, that's not it. Oh, that's actually way back, right? So 74 is here, okay? So 74 is here. Okay, so that's in the middle of the crash. And what did I say is the other one? Let's put them side by side. 74 and 69. 69, okay, so here, 69, somewhere here, right? Also in the middle of the thing. Let's see another one. 66. What is this, by the way? 80. 1980. Okay. 1980. Wait, where is it? 1980. 82. Okay, so that's another example of the cut coming first, and then there's a crash, right? Okay, so that's interesting. This one is also coinciding. And then you have the pivot here in 81, July 81. Okay, where is it? July, November 81, October, July. There you go. So here in the middle of this, right? So you have these here, right? So I don't know, but for example, this one, right? This is a huge pivot, as we see here. July 81, pivot, low, a bit hike, and then more drop. And then a bit hike, and then more drops, right? And that's here, this trajectory up, right? I mean, from that 81 pivot, there is a 16% drawdown in the stock market, but then over the next 7 years, 200% up, while these rates are going down. Yeah, 7 years until here. So I don't know. Is it a clear picture? Can you predict the stock market crash, or an entire world market crash by these pivots? Because the history that is being pulled in is only from here, right? It's basically from this one, 1, 2, and the third pivot here. This is our fourth one. The question is, big crash hit or no, right? Also, there's an argument to be made that since here we technically were in a recession, only that the markers, the indicators for that have been changed, right? Before it was 2 consecutive GDP recession for the US, for example, but also for other countries. And you remember that Joe Biden basically just said we are not in a recession, and then then we were not in a recession, even though there were 2 GDPs back to back, right? So this is a very interesting topic. I don't say Andreas Kapatos. I don't say that your gut is wrong. I just say that I'm just saying that not necessarily every time you pivot you get like this mega crash .com bubble style, right? Directly on the pivot. But something seriously wrong in the economy that I give, that's for sure. Let's see, by the way, I want to see one more thing. So we had a pause and then drop like we have right now. Basically, it's very similar in April 89. Okay, so April 89 was, that's May 18, there. Here's April 89, okay? So also very weird because you're coming up and you have another 20% market upswing, then you have a 16% drawdown, and then you just go, right? Then you're just booming. Then there is no pullbacks anymore for years on end, for a decade or so, right? Basically no pullbacks anymore since this 16% drawdown until the .com bubble is a 400% uproar, right? So, I mean, if you see all these pivots, can you really... Here it's very clear, right? From 2000 it's very clear, right? Whereas the pivot point is actually here, and the pivot point here, we can see it in the indicator. It's right here, right before that, and the next pivot point is here where this line is. So now we have it all in yellow-ish, and now we have our pivot point. Can we have it here? How did I do the line? I've completely forgot. Where's the oh, here, vertical line. So our pivot point was here. Okay, so does that mean that we collapse now? No idea, but we are already in this, like the same that happened here. Will there something be happening in the next couple of weeks and months, right? Good question, right? And maybe I take the time, not here on stream, but I will take the time for the next one to sit here and take this history and put all the pivot points into the S&P 500, where rate hikes were turned around, right? So I will go back here in history and just mark all of these, and maybe then it becomes even clearer. But I mean, if you take this one, for example, you don't have a clear trajectory, right? Yeah, so that one for sure interesting to observe. Now, we spent some time on this. Sorry for everyone who is not interested in the biggest market crash of all time. Let's talk about the broader market. The altcoins, little bit red. What's moving, what's popping is, or leading today is Move and Veve. They're the ones, and then Ondo and Tau are moving. I think Ondo is like tokenization of everything. Uniswap is up by 6%, but the rest of the market pretty much down. Pretty much wrecked, as we see here. And Pengu also suffering quite a bit. By the way, how is Pengu doing? Let's see here. Let's see how the Pengu is doing. Does anyone of you guys own Pengu? By the way, we have to go into the daily chart or something. Okay. So there is by the way, the Fed funds rate doesn't matter on Pengu. Yeah, okay. So now Pengu is exploring a bottom, exploring some levels here that could be some kind of a bottom formation to continue afterwards. Let's go with, hey Troy Paris, what's going on? So you think we have to sell all at the right time in order to get really good entry prices afterwards? I think so, yes, because I think that the overall prediction is correct, that at some point the market will correct. The question is, will there be there's two crashes, right? One crash is whatever happens to be printed away by the market, right? So for example, you remember our C crisis, our pandemic, right? There was a sharp crash, massive injection of capital, V-shaped recovery, and then afterwards, yeah, basically it went on for a year or so, and then afterwards the market kind of came back everywhere, and then we fell into a bear market. The rates were hiked and so on. I think we have all of that, lowering rates, injecting capital, booming more first, before we hey Coltrane, welcome to the fam. Before we drop then totally, right? And I mean this with the rates, that's nothing new, right? And funny is that everyone does the prediction right now, but that with the rates is nothing new. If you're following this channel since where's my line? If you're following the channel for a longer time, we have already talked about this a couple of times. Okay, let's look at, so overall the market is down 2 to 3%. It will stay down until we get something bullish from the FOMC. In my opinion, couple of movers in the top 200, Morpho, Ultima Arc, Pulse, Chain, and what is that? In the bottom, Verus, you cannot see that, but here we have two greens in the bottom. Everything else is down by about 5 to 10%. Stark down, Pendle down, Rune down, AI 16Z, that coin is down, AIXBT, FTT, Toshi, everything's down. So maybe good entry prices, as sentiment is also low, with the prediction that there could be the next massive lag coming in the next couple of months. But if we take this warning of the potential crashes together with that some of the Bitcoin indicators are hinting at a top fairly soon, right? For example, the TSI, then right? Why I don't know why this line sometimes disappears as well. Some things just disappear here. Then, so you see, we are very, very close to this top line here. So I expect another 2 to 3 months until we hit that time here for Bitcoin, right? And so if you take that together, we need to be more cautious right now. I will not sell just yet, but also look at these long wicks coming in here already at the Bitcoin, right? We did not see something like this before here. We did not see as long wicks as we are having right now here, but we saw it here, right? So long wicks coming in these last months, long wicks to the upside as sell pressure increases as the prices go up, right? So we need to be more cautious. And that still doesn't mean that all your altcoins are like minus 20% or so, you're underwater, you will go out with losses. No. The altcoins, they will still fire, they will still come, in my opinion. But we need to be very cautious because we cannot predict the exact crash, but what we can do is lock in profits along the way, right? Let's see here. Troy says, it's funny to hear the supercycle theory again being talked about more and more, which feels like a top indicator too. It's funny because there are two sides, right? The sentiment is not as exuberant bullish as it was the last cycle. Maybe that will come when altcoins are pumping like hell. But at the same time, there are these super cycle, strategic reserve, Bitcoin, whatever things going on that are, as you say, a top signal. And this is a little bit weird to me because usually at the top, the market is unanimously bullish on things that are coming. But there's a lot of fear still in the market. I don't know if you sense this as well. But I mean, people are disappointed by altcoins. People are extremely bullish on some of the coins like XRP and so on, strategic reserve, but many altcoins, they just didn't perform that much yet, right? If you look also at here total 2, I mean, also if you look at Ethereum, right? I mean, Ethereum isn't even past all-time high. If you're looking at the total 2, it's just forming a massive base on this support, right? On this previous support, so ready to go again, right? How much is the total 2 up from the bottom? Well, a mere 178%. So that's not really this altcoin trajectory that we're looking at. Total 2. So everything without Bitcoin isn't even past all-time high. It's consolidating between this support and this high, right? In this line, basically, it's bouncing until we can fire to the upside, right? So all altcoins are waiting for their moment, right, to go up. If you put this on a monthly chart, it becomes maybe a little bit more clear even. Let's go. Yeah, here. Right, on the monthly, that the same level of move, finding support, slow sideways chop, and then going for the 2-3 trillion, and then maybe a fifth wave afterwards, right? But this is something I still expect the altcoin market to break its previous high in terms of market cap in any way. So I don't think we're done here. If we were done, it would be different from the other cycles. Also, look at this. If you put an RSI on the total 2, we had absolute exaggeration here. We had it also in the last cycle in 21. So this is the 2017. This is the 2021 cycle. RSI was hitting there in the last cycle above 90. Right now, we are not even overbought. Okay, so I think if no black swan like Third World War hits, we should go in this trajectory right now and hit and move in these levels in the next couple of, I don't know, in the next 3 months or so. Yeah, 3 months going up in this 90 area should be what's coming, right? Dan O says, I'm not really a big believer in patterns given how young crypto is, but it is interesting to look at it in hindsight. I think it's valid to look at it if it happened 2 times like this and you're taking stuff like overbought, oversold as a reference. And then you can still say, if it collapsed from here, you can say, okay, that was wrong, right? This didn't happen, and then you have a new thing. But so far, these patterns, they played out, right? So far, they are playing out exactly as expected. Which tells, by the way, when we passed the all-time high from the 2 cycles ago to 1 cycle ago, we had, this is monthly candles, so we had then from past, also we encountered resistance here, and then the market went another 4.5x on the altcoin. So let's just assume we go on a 2x here, which would bring us to the 2 or maybe to the 3 trillion. That would also repeat exactly what we have. And by the way, not without a mega pullback that wiped out 60% of all the gains that it had here, coming back from 1.5 trillion all the way down to 500 million. Wow, that must have hurt. And then the next push up, right? So I think I'll go with a couple of these indicators also. Stochastic RSI, right? On the total 2, I want to see this at least somewhere up here from a momentum perspective, where we were in December 23. I want to see it here again, like in the last cycle, as well as some other indicators like TSI, also on the entire crypto market, just for me as a reference to where we are. By the way, wrong TSI. Let me TSI, true strength. Wait, that's not the one. That is the one. There you go. I want this one here. Okay, so this one coiling up. Actually, how would we be if we put that on the, yeah. So room to grow, still room, but same thing, same situation here like on Bitcoin, in my opinion, for the entire altcoin market. Still a bit to go, but yeah, like here, pass all-time high, fly up for 3 months, take massive profit, let something in case there's more, and then yeah, that will be my action plan. It can go wrong, right, guys? Everything of this can go horribly wrong. By the way, USDT still not allocated to the market. Not much. Waiting position. Maybe today after FOMC. Bitcoin dominance still going up, as we saw today that the whales are coming in hard on Bitcoin, and institutions, they buy Bitcoin, don't care about altcoins, or not many altcoins at least. We saw Total 2 also holding position. What else? Oh yeah, VeChain. We said we would talk about one or the other altcoins. So VeChain is still in this sideways downwards trajectory here, cooling off once again in the range of this previous high. We can barely see it because of all the lines, but there you go, right? So somewhat on top of this. I really would like to see a close a little bit higher than in the end, but maybe that comes today with a pump. Also massive sell pressure coming in for VeChain here at these levels, as many people are exiting where they are even or barely in profit at the moment. VeChain still waiting to break into the bull market territory, which would be this white line here. Also prediction wise, we are 1 month off of flying off from our prediction here that we have in since a longer time. Let's also check out Solana. Yeah, and with Solana it's always like the same, would find the lines that I drew in. Yeah, no idea where it is, but also Solana is in the right now. If it stays like it is extremely bullish. You have to see that if this is the previous monthly closes, and it closes and stays above, and the next candle is important, right? Open and closing above this previous all-time high from December 2021, or November 2021, with this type of a pattern, that would be it, right? That would be so mega bullish for Solana. So basically would send Solana to, let's see what it would send Solana to. Where is it? What would be the measured move for this breakout? $418, so also a 2x, which would coincide with what we are seeing. Like, everyone is like, Solana's going to $5,000, maybe, but probably not. Yeah. So let's see also Ethereum. That's not the Ethereum one that I know. Wait, that's a Coinbase. Where's my ETH? Bitstamp. That must be. Yeah, there you go. The Ethereum is still also, like, you see this, right? This upward sloping trajectory. Basically forming this here, right? We will see, right? If you would invert this, you would see something that is, you would go like, okay, this is head and shoulders, right? Something like this. So Ethereum probably going to break at some point here as well. Yeah. So Ethereum, still, we have our target for a breakout here, which means a candle, like at least a weekly, opening and closing above, and then also passing the all-time high, right? And then you see it didn't pass the all-time high. I think it will. The target would be 6,800 or so for ETH, which also would be a rough 2x, a little bit more than a 2x from here, which would coincide with our analysis again on the total too. Yeah, but we see it's an uptrend. It's getting blocked here. Overhead resistance is fairly strong, so we want this to turn around, test it again. You can't forget. Everyone is like, oh, why are you bullish on ETH chart and so on? The reason being that 2x is not much, but it's also the biggest altcoin that there is. But I'm still bullish on ETH because I see that institutions are still betting on ETH, still going with ETH. You see World Liberty Finance bought a ton of ETH and staked ETH. Also other institutions are still going on ETH, so I think there will be more upside to this. That for Ethereum. Also someone talked about Mcade. Let's see how Mcade is doing. Yeah, Mcade had a big pullback, got rejected. Basically, you can argue that Mcade did not break out. If you look at it on the monthly, you see it here. It did break out on basically all smaller time frames, but on the monthly, not really, right? It's a nice fake out, but you see this here. If this is the absolute overhead resistance where all the sell pressure is coming in, then yeah, you want to have this support here to hold, turn around, and then finally, since maybe all of the sellers are out here, that this is then finally breaking out to the upside. I personally will. I still see this pattern here. I personally will continue to hodl my Mcade. I think it's even maybe a good opportunity to get more of it. And then I think if the altcoin market breaks out as we expected, Mcade should be doing extremely well, right? I think it will pass this all-time high here. By the way, do you see exactly where the mass selling came in? Exactly where it came in here as well. Exactly where it sold off May 23. It also sold off here, right? So it's only a matter of time, I think. The sell pressure will be away, and then people will go hard. Maybe whales are coming in, making their move here at some point. But yeah, that is coming. And then for OMI, basically, there's not much changes. We are sitting at 000321. in the middle of this falling wedge. At the moment, the downside of this falling wedge would be 0023 something, 235 or so, which would be an insane price to get to. We are still waiting for the next whale move, like here and here. And we're just observing this monthly falling wedge pattern, right? And this is why, like, higher time frames, they have much more value, because if you look back at the Mcade chart that we just looked at, where is it? Did I go? There we go. The Mcade chart. So if you look at it on a daily pattern, you see that you even had, on a daily pattern, you even had a retest here where you could say, oh, continuous bullish continuation, and then just fell off a cliff, right? So the long time frames, they give you a little bit more insight. By the way, here is in small what I expected to be the long-term pattern, like small W, big breakout. Let's check that for Mcade. Bars. Let's take this. I don't know if this is even possible to do. And let's go on the monthly. Actually, it also shifts to the monthly. But basically... Oh, there we go. No, it doesn't shift. Okay, so basically, you have this W, okay, that you saw in small, right? And then you would want to have like this breakout, right? So here you go. Here's your W, and then something like this, right? A continuation to the upside. I think that's what you would want to see, right? That's taken out of something that's happening very small in here, but Mcade has that same pattern in a bigger way. Troy says it feels worse about Omi, especially with the app. Feels lonely. Lots of anger in the feed lately. Yeah, I think. I don't know how to bring that sentiment back. I think it's only when capital hits the market, and the app. I mean, you really need to build the app as the people that are using it are going to what makes it enjoyable, right? And if you're not able to pull it off yourself, you have to give the development of this app to a development studio, right? That are professionals in doing that. I mean, there are so many apps that we use on a daily basis that are insanely fluent. Be it the Amazon app or be it whatever, like a fitness tracker app or so, where you don't have loading times when you go from one panel to another. That's the most important thing, in my opinion, right? So yeah. But anyways, guys, unfortunately, today, not much Ecomi and Veve content. Liquidity is king, absolutely. I have to jump. I hope you found value in this stream. If you did, then smash up the like button. If you watch it afterwards, don't hesitate to smash up the like button as well. It helps this channel tremendously. I thank each and every one of you, especially the rare hodlers that are here each and every day, for the continuous support. And I think today will be a great day. Let's see in tomorrow's Crypto Morning Coffee what FOMC did to the prices. And yeah, let's discuss more about, as we are getting closer to this last phase of the bull, to not miss our take profit points, right? So yeah, wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. I see you in the next video or live stream. Have a good one, and bye.